Hi folks, welcome back to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. I want to talk with you a little bit today about sports performance and pain control and about how to be preemptive, to be defensive about sport events that are apt to be painful and more endurance types of events. And I'm going to be talking mostly about bicycling. And this is a technique that I had learned years ago from Topher Morrison, that whenever you hurt a body part, you smash your thumb with a hammer, or you bump your elbow or stub your toe, that you would hold the image of that part that hurt over your head. And as long as you held that image of keeping that part above your head, it's amazing that there's very little to no discomfort. And a few years later, in an early class that was taught by Scott Sandlin, he had learned the same technique from Topher, and only Scott's version of it was to leave the stub toe in the garage, or whatever body part, to leave it behind. And I had never thought of it that way, and started using it that way, and sometimes I'd hold it over my head, or sometimes I would just imagine it being left behind me somewhere. And this Saturday, in preparation for the Seattle to Portland bike ride, the STP, next month, which is 204 miles, I rode the Flying Wheels ride, which is 100 miles. It was a century ride, although some of us took a wrong turn, and it ended up being 106 miles for us, because we had to backtrack the 3 miles that we went out of our way. But anyway, one of my concerns about this ride was sitting comfortably on the saddle of the bike. I wasn't at all concerned about my legs doing the spinning or anything like that. I knew I'd be fine. I knew my legs would be fine. I knew I had the strength, I had the endurance, the stamina. That part I was good with. I just wasn't sure about sitting 6 hours on the saddle of a bike, and in preparation for the STP of 204 miles, of sitting that long on the bike saddle. And actually we're going to do it, and my nephew and I are going to do it together, and we're going to do it in 2 days. And so not only is it riding about 140 miles the first day, then we get back on the second day and we ride 60. And someone described that to me as that's like giving birth 2 days in a row, which was a pretty horrifying thought. And other people had talked about towards the end of the century ride, I was going to feel like that pole of that bike was up here in my throat. And those were the images I was getting, and I was just imagining how painful this ride was going to be, and how my butt would feel. And okay, now this is a problem, because I'm creating all these negative hypnotic suggestions about how sore and painful this ride is going to be. And so it's like, well, why am I doing that when I could imagine it being comfortable and easy? And I hadn't quite figured out what I was going to do, but I pulled into the parking area at Marymore Park over in Seattle, and I sat there in my truck for a moment, and I was doing some self-hypnosis and just about strength and stamina, envisioning a safe ride and having fun and all those things. I realized just how comfortable my butt felt sitting in the driver's seat of my truck. It's soft, it's cushy, it's a nice seat. I like my truck's very comfortable, and I like sitting in that seat. And I thought, okay, I'm going to leave my butt in the truck, sitting comfortably. And throughout the day, as I'd ride along and I'd become aware of the saddle on my butt cheeks, I think I just kind of smiled to myself, and I'd picture my butt sitting very comfortably in the truck seat. And folks, I had a great ride. It was probably the least uncomfortable ride that I've possibly ever had when it came to sitting comfortably in the saddle of my bike. It was even a 20-mile ride. I've had more discomfort than that. And anytime that I'd feel any tension in my shoulders, I would just imagine them relaxing, and even getting a massage. And once in a while my hands would get tingly or kind of numb, and I just imagined them just relaxed and the blood flowing, and they'd relax and be just fine. And it turned out to be just a wonderful ride. And the next day, on Sunday, I got back on my bike and I did a 20-mile ride, and that was fine. And yesterday I did spin class and for an hour, and so I had plus I'd ridden on Friday, so I had 4 days of sitting on a bike saddle, and one of them, for a little over 6 hours. I did great. So the point is that if you're doing something like a bike ride or running a marathon or some other endurance sport, or you're just doing something that you're thinking is apt to be painful, ahead of time, plan on it being comfortable, on it being smooth and easy, and imagine if there's a particular body part that you think may end up hurting, imagine it being relaxed and comfortable. And so today, when one of my clients was in, and she has a lot of back problems and rheumatoid arthritis in her back, and degenerative diseases going on, and she does a lot of yard work, and so I talked with her about this, and I asked her where the most comfortable place was for her to sit or lay, and when she felt relaxed and when her back didn't hurt, and she said, on her sofa. And I said, okay, so before you go outside to do yard work, to work in your garden with your vegetables or your flowers or down on the beach or whatever it is you might be doing, just place your body on the sofa and leave it there. And you go out and have fun playing with your flowers and playing in the sand on the beach and doing the things that you love to do out there. And so I'm anxious to hear back from her on how she does. So please, play with this technique, learn how to use it, put your body or the body part in a very comfortable, relaxed place for you. Go do what it is you need to do. Be safe, be responsible about it. And I'd love to hear back from you on how you do. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.